What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the AJA Sports Show. Happy Sunday. We are short of our ace in our deck. I know I made that joke before, but we are short of ace today. But hopefully he'll be able to, get some football in today. How's everybody doing? Jay, how you doing today?
Good. We didn't sleep a whole lot, but we're working through it, baby. We're working through it for the DFS grind.
Yeah, for the DFS grind, Jay has been all over it all night, waking up at 5:30 in the morning, not letting me sleep. Thankfully, we have some coffee. So it is Sunday, it is football, and it's the AJA Sports Show back with a Sunday morning roast. So we're gonna get into some fantasy stuff in a little bit here. We can kick things off real quick. Though there's a lot of injuries going around, a lot of news around the NFL. One funny story that we'll get to, and I have a funny little clip for it, but I guess we'll talk about the not so good. So actually, you know what? Let me pull this up real quick while we're at it, so we can just review it for one quick sec. The Panthers defeated we have a typo right there. Not the Saints. They defeated the Texans. A little typo right there. We all picked the Panthers to win that game, 26-7. Darnold's been looking good. Back-to-back games with 300 yards passing for the first time in his career. So he seems like he's fitting in pretty well there. The big miss is, though, Christian McCaffrey will be out for a few weeks with a hamstring injury he suffered on Thursday night. It happened about the second quarter. It was non-contact. Not sure how long he's going to be out for, but they're trying to avoid IR. Unfortunately, the IR is not going to be avoided for his teammate J.C. Horn. The rookie broke 3 bones in his foot during the game, and it's unclear how much time he's going to miss. Him and his family right now are mulling surgery, or if they want the injury to just heal on its own. So that we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Jay, did you have anything specific about? I know you're a big Sam Darnold guy. Did you like what you've been seeing so far?
I mean, I liked what I saw because he won, obviously, and he played pretty darn well, too. He's had a few good games here in the early stretch. But anyone who was projecting the Panthers, their schedule this year, could see that they had every opportunity to start, with a good start when you play the Jets. There's always that's always a good refresher there, week one. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks. I hate the injuries. I mean, I think we've talked about it quite a bit where, we can't stand injuries. It takes so much fun out of the game, man. And I love Thursday night football. So I see why people do it. I mean, I love football pretty much any day. I can get it. Unfortunately, injuries just seem like they pile up, man. Like if you look at the numbers for injuries on Thursday night football and on short rest, players get an extended, a few days to coming into the next week. They get about 10, I guess, technically, but these Thursday night football games, man, it looked terrible, right? Like I can't be the only one that thought that. I mean, there were multiple players on both sides of the field that were, we needed the game to stop because of injuries, and it just sucks. It just really sucks. I hate it. I don't hate it as much as the people who played the showdown slates and played McCaffrey in their captain spot or pretty much anywhere. I mean, even DJ Moore was banged up coming out of that game too, man. And DJ Moore looks unbelievable. I mean, that dude, he's going to get paid this offseason, I imagine, right? I mean, he's a free agent this offseason. They just signed Robbie Anderson. Obviously we talked about it with the hashtag college connection between Matt Rule and Robbie Anderson, but DJ Moore looks like the better receiver right now. It doesn't very much look close. Last year, it seemed as though coming in, we thought that Robbie Anderson was going to be the blow the top off the guy, and then DJ Moore was going to be the guy to operate in that more to short to intermediate level. And total 180 this year. If you look at their ADOT, Robbie Anderson has like a 23 yard per attempt ADOT, and now we've seen DJ Moore's kind of settle in around that 9 yards, which is doing wonders for his fantasy game. So yeah, just injuries suck. The Texans stink. They're just really bad. I mean, they're running out 35-year-old, 36-year-old, Mark Ingram and Phillip Lindsay, and I mean David Johnson. I mean, these guys are just absolutely dusty. They're not even trying to hide the fact that they're trying to get the number 1 pick again.
I mean, do you think it's like the 2017 season with these guys being the focal point of an NFL offense? Yeah.
Oh, you'd be loaded. You'd be loaded. Absolutely. Yeah. That's
your fantasy be crushing. Yeah, seriously.
Hey, throwing Gronk and his 4 touchdowns through the first 2 weeks, buddy. And that 2017 fantasy team is off to a rip-roaring start, baby.
Yeah, Gronk has scored 2 touchdowns in 3 straight games, including the Super Bowl. We'll see if he can continue doing that. He plays the Rams today, and we're gonna get to that game pick in a little bit here. I threw that on the screen. A dot, something I learned like early on last season. For anybody who's watching and doesn't know what A dot means, it is average depth of target, which means how far the quarterback is targeting their receiver down the field. Just to clear that up, just to let everybody know. I like to be informed and to make sure we're all on the same page here when it comes to that kind of stuff.
It helps you fully understand. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But what it really does is it really helps you understand the types of opportunities the player's getting, right? Like you may look at the box score, on DraftKings, right? And you see that a guy had 7 targets, right? But you see that their A dot, like Laviska Shenault, right? This is a perfect example. Laviska Shenault, for the Jacksonville Jaguars, has like an average A dot this season of like 4. Like literally, when the ball's thrown to him, it's within 4 yards of the line of scrimmage on average. And DJ Chark is obviously his teammate. His average A dot is like 13. Like Marvin Jones is like 11. So like it just goes to show you that they're utilizing them differently, right? Like they're giving more of the receiver stuff to Jones and to Chark, and they're giving more of the extension of the run game, like the screens and the slants and the flats and the short stuff, to get him some explosive ability after the catch. Not taking anything away from Laviska Shenault, but that's how they're trying to utilize him. So it just gives you a better understanding of where those targets are actually coming, as opposed to just saying, oh, this guy had 7 targets and, not having any comprehensive analysis as to what the hell those 7 targets mean.
Right, and that's something we talked about too. Once Travis Etienne went down, we talked about we're not going to get too into Jaguars' offensive schematics here, but Laviska Shenault was going to be the guy to be the extension of the running game, as you mentioned. But we'll move on off Jacksonville. Urban Meyer's got quite the load to handle over there to get his team right and hopefully avoid an 0-17 season. One guy who is going to be on the field that we're going to talk about is Carson Wentz. He's going to play today, despite spraining both ankles last week against the Rams. I mean, if anybody saw the game, he just kind of was getting mollywopped all game. It was a really ugly game. Finished 27-24. Indy starting the season 0-2. I still have high hopes for my pick for them to win the division. Slow starts, as we've seen in recent NFL seasons, at least, have not been the deterrent of playoff appearances. So hopefully the Colts can get it right. I'm not really too concerned about. I don't think the Titans are that great of a team. Defensively, they're very shoddy. So I think as long as Carson's healthy, but playing with 2 sprained ankles, I mean, good luck to you, man. You better have the best spatter in the league, because you're gonna need all the tape in the world.
Looking fresh, dude. I don't know what Adam Schefter is on, but like I woke up last night to go use the baño at like 2:00 in the morning, and this dude's dropping bombs already, dude. Like Carson Wentz is going today. Like Dalvin Cook is extremely doubtful. Like whatever Schefter's on, give me 2 of them, because that dude is on it.
Yeah, he has them. He has them made. He has them. He has the information already, and then just has them sent out at 3:00. 3:00 Pacific time, but 6 a.m. Eastern time. So they're preloaded tweets, and they're ready to go. That's why he's Shefty, and that's why we're here drinking coffee on Sunday morning.
You got a little more connects. We're working through the connects. We're gonna get ourselves into there a little bit, but Indy. The big thing with Indy was everyone was toting this offensive line, and for good reason. I mean, this was supposed to be one of the best offensive lines in football. Unfortunately, just due to injuries, that hasn't been the case so far this year. Carson Wentz was getting we thought he was getting mollywopped here these first few weeks in Indy. He was getting absolutely shellacked then in Philly. And they actually had a good offensive line, but again, there was just injuries all over that offensive line too. Poor Carson, what I swear to you, I don't know. He needs to go get blessed or something. A little holy water dousage, because good Lord, that guy can't catch a break. And again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but anyone who looked at the projections and were trying to project what the Indianapolis Colts were going to finish this year, kind of like the Carolina Panthers, could see that this was going to be a rocky start. I mean, Carson Wentz is coming into a new offense with obviously new playmakers. The scheme is similar to what he's used to with Frank Reich being there. But when you start your season, your first 5 games, and you're playing Seattle, you're playing the Rams, you're playing Tennessee, you're playing Miami, you're playing Baltimore. That's their first 5 games. That's their first 5 games. Like I projected them to finish 10-6 or 11, or I'm sorry, 10 and oh my God, it's 11-6 or 10-7 now. Yeah, it's one of those. Good Lord, the extra week is just absolutely killing. And then we see all the injuries on Thursday night, and I'm like, yeah, we add another week because greed, I guess.
He said because of greed. Yeah.
I mean, come on, what are we doing, dude? I mean, they're going to make it. They literally, this is a little more non-football, but they used COVID just to push this agenda to get a 17th week. They've been trying to do this for years. You're not pulling the wolf over anybody's eyes. We've been seeing this. You've been trying to get this done by the NFLPA for the last 5 years, and now because of COVID, you had an actual reason to say, "Oh yeah, well, we lost revenue, so we got add an extra game." Okay, yeah, sure, bite me. Don't believe it. I mean, I'm sure they lost some kind of revenue, but they didn't lose enough to where they needed to add an extra game. Look at these guys, dude. This is the most physical sport. I mean, good Lord. The guys are getting hurt left and right. It doesn't matter. Play on Thursday, play on Monday. They're going to start having a Tuesday night game here pretty soon, I imagine, the way how they want to go. Everyone just wants football. I mean, I'm one of them, so I can't really complain too much because I do like football, but I don't want people getting hurt playing football. I'll take my football when I can get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a child. You can take it away from me for a few days. I'll be all right. I'll find something to do. I'll talk to my brother over here or something. But no, I had the Colts going 1-4 in their first 5 anyway. So I'm not very surprised by the start. And I mean, I'd be more surprised if, they ended up flaming out. I mean, they do have, a softer schedule. It starts to ease up towards the end part of the season there. And I think with some chemistry time, it'll all come to fruition. What I'm thinking over there, I think they're really talented defensively, offensively. That's a really good team. And as we've seen, it's not like the AFC South is toting anyone out there that's ready to go anyway. I mean, good Lord, even the Titans, they beat the Seahawks the other day. And that was an absolute catastrophe by the Seahawks. I mean, and then obviously we know Jacksonville and Houston are racing for first place in the dumpster.
Yeah, it's a race to see who's going to have the number 1 overall pick between Jacksonville. You could probably say Jacksonville, Houston, and probably the Jets. The Jets are always, no matter what they have quarterback situation wise, they're always a safe bet to get the number 1 pick.
Top three.
Yeah. But sticking with injuries, we'll run through the next couple guys real fast. We'll stick with the big names of guys who are going to be missing time. So these players are already confirmed to be out for today. Frank Clark will not play against the Chargers. TJ Watt and Deontay Johnson are not going to play against the Bengals today. And Dalvin Cook, it's not confirmed, but on all the fantasy sites, Alexander Madison's getting the projections to be the starter. And word on the street is that Dalvin Cook will not play today against the Seahawks. He's playing. And that bodes well for me in a little bit, as we'll get to. But those 4 names, they will not play. Chris Jones, standout defensive lineman for our Chiefs. He's listed as questionable, but he's going to play today. Play a little bit of defensive end last week against the Ravens. That didn't go too well. Apparently, he's expected to play a little bit again, barring his injury can hold up. He injured his wrist during the last game against the Ravens, but it didn't seem too serious. But those are the injuries for right now. We mentioned all the other guys. Hopefully everyone, speedy recoveries for all those who are injured early in the season, and especially for guys like Christian McCaffrey. Funny, I saw some guy, I saw just on my timeline while I was just looking up NFL news. Some guys like, man, I have Christian McCaffrey and Dalvin Cook, and they're both hurt on my fantasy team. That sucks, first of all. Second of all, what fantasy league are you in that you got both of those guys?
Let us in on that fantasy league. You get Christian McCaffrey and Dalvin Cook. Wait, Dalvin Cook falling to the second round? I mean, I can't imagine what's more egregious. Christian McCaffrey not being the first pick, or Dalvin Cook dropping to the second round. What are we doing? Yeah, we'll take 2 entries into that fantasy league, bucko. Good Lord.
Next season we will make sure we start up the AJA sports fantasy league in some facet, maybe a couple leagues, and get people, get people who would like to watch us involved in it as well.
Yeah, we got some DK. I play DK obviously, but just on some of that injury news, from a DFS perspective, running back on DraftKings this week is a freaking desolate waste storm. I don't know what the hell is going on. I mean, I'm playing Clyde Edwards-Helaire at $4,800 in cash. I don't know. It's a scary proposition, I'll tell you. He's got 3 targets in 2 weeks, but he's getting all the looks. But good Lord, that's scary. That's how bad running back is. And basically, I say that because Dalvin Cook being out doesn't do that any favors. I mean, he was 8,400, looked like the slam dunk price of the week on Monday. And then, Dalvin Cook has had this happen before. He does this where he doesn't practice sometimes throughout the week. And I mean, he gets anywhere from 25 to 30 touches a game. He's okay not practicing. Been in the system for like 6 years now. He's totally okay not practicing, which is why no one really thought anything of it when he showed up on the injury report on on Tuesday, not practicing. Wednesday came, still not practicing. And then, all the way up to Friday where he didn't practice at all on Friday. He wasn't even limited. And I think that's kind of what's driving that, Madison may be the guy now. Madison at 6K. I mean, I guess. I mean, do you like?
You feel really good about that? Yeah, it sounded like
yeah, I'm all over it. Yeah, I mean, Madison at 6K. I mean, in that range, you're looking at like DeAndre Swift is 5,800. I think I feel a little bit better about DeAndre Swift, especially in tournaments. Then you got, that 6,500. You have like Saquon, who I think is a home run this week. He's another one of my cash builds this week. So is this should I just do the DFS portion right now? Just go right into it. Just start ripping it up.
Yeah, sure. Let me actually get to this one last story real fast, and then we can move right on to it because I think this is pretty funny, and I'm going to make fun of a Cowboys offensive lineman at his expense, unfortunately. And I feel really bad about the caption I have, but I think it's also kind of funny. Lyle Collins.
Dude, I couldn't believe it when I saw this morning. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? No, don't have it. This is ridiculous.
So Lyle Collins, we were all trying to figure out why he was suspended week one when he didn't play. They had the COVID. So week one, the Cowboys had the COVID implications. Zach Martin, their all-pro guard, didn't play. And then all of a sudden, Lyle Collins, the player who started 62 of 63 games for them over the last 5 seasons, didn't play. He was ruled out. And then we find out he was suspended 5 games. Well, here's why he was suspended. The news is out. The cat's out the bag. And here it is. Apparently, he attempted to bribe an NFL drug test sample collector and was suspended 5 games. That's not where the story stops, though. That's not where it stops.
Wait,
hold on.
What? That's all I heard. There's more?
There is more. So Lyle Collins, being of sound mind and body, as we all assume he is. I'm really not sure, actually, considering he tried to dodge 7 drug tests. So anyway, according to the new collective bargaining agreement that was signed by the NFL and the NFL Players Association, NFL players cannot be suspended for a positive drug test per the CBA. Initially, he was suspended 5 games, but because the NFL has a Players Association, the Players Association stood up for him, and they negotiated with the NFL, and that suspension was made into 2 games. Well, Lyle Collins thought that he was, smart and high and mighty or whatever, and he tried to appeal that decision, and he hired his own lawyer. And you hire your own lawyer. The NFL went ahead and hired, an outside arbitrator. And that arbitrator said that, I'm going to go ahead and reject this appeal based on all the evidence. And it was reset to 5 games. So he's still out for 5 games because he decided to appeal the NFLPA's appeal that they won that's reduced it to 2 games. Apparently, he believed that he had legitimate reason to miss 7 drug tests. One of those involved the day that Mark Price, one of their offensive coordinators, passed away, and then I guess another one was for a funeral. Which, I'm not saying it's not true, but he missed 7 of them.
And you're bribing someone.
And you try to bribe him.
Wait a minute. So wait a minute. I have to get this.
A lot to unpack here.
Right. So you're telling me that the NFLPA was able to appeal his suspension down to 2 games.
Yep.
Okay. Then Ding Dong decided to get an outside lawyer to arbitrate it down even more, and then the NFL got their own arbitration, and they decided the individual arbitrator decided that no, it's going to go back to 5. Wow.
Yeah.
That's next level type of stupid, right? I mean, good Lord, that's got to be you got to be wait a minute, Andrew, remind me which one I'm wrong about. Maybe I'm wrong here. Was it Lyle Collins? No, it was a tackle out of Miami, right? Where the NFL draft when he was caught like the day of with like a gas mask bong. That was Lyle Collins, right? Yes, baby. Yes. Let's go. Oh, God. That's wild. The day of the draft. I remember waking up that day, dude. Oh, my God. Yeah, Pop's coming in with the commentary. That's awesome commentary. Yeah, exactly that. 100%.
So the suspension will cost Lyle Collins roughly $2 million per the CBA. It voids his injury guarantee with $6.48 million in his 2022 salary. This is not the first time this has happened, though. In 2013, the NFL suspended Denver Broncos star Von Miller 6 games because he was caught attempting to corrupt the drug test program with the help of a urine collector. So not the first time we've heard of this. But we here at the AJA Sports Show, we care about NFL players. We care about, people taking care of their bodies. And we just want to come up with, show this little PSA real quick if we have a minute. Specifically, if you're watching Lyle Collins, this one's for you, pal. Go ahead and pay attention.
Stay off the damn weed.
I'm sorry, I had to.
I mean, at least Vaughn's in Colorado. That stuff's legal over there. Colorado's basically like Amsterdam now. We got Leo Collins over here in Texas. The most strict state like I've ever seen in my life. Used to live in Texas. Good Lord, no shot. I cannot believe that. That is just hilarious. That is stupidity upon ridiculous levels. I mean, that's a crack up for the morning. Holy shit.
So Lyle Collins making news headlines every Sunday. We'd love to see it. Thank you for
all the right reasons.
For all the right reasons. Thank you for allowing us to have some top tier content this early Sunday morning. With that being said, let's move on to our game picks. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at where the records stand right now. I'm just happy to be back at 500. I'll be quite honest with you. I mean, I know it's early and I'm not panicking just yet, but we got Ace over here at 8-4.
Oh, Ace is killing it. Great job.
Me and you here at 6-6. Got been a couple weird outcomes, a couple weird games, but I think we'll get back on track here shortly.
I need a few. I'm like an algorithm. I need a few weeks to buffer. Like ETR had, shout out ETR established the run. Love established the run. They have their buy low model, AR buy low model. Needed 2 weeks to buff. I just needed 2 weeks to buff up. This is where we hit big right here this week.
We're all rooting for you, buddy. I hope you know that. We're always rooting. And this says week 3.
I was gonna be honest. I don't know how much I believe that. I feel like there's a lot of the AJ community and you and Ace yourselves that are loving my impending downfall.
Oh no, we're definitely rooting for the hilarity of you losing a lot of money, definitely. But we're also, we're going to be supportive if you do end up winning money because then, you can help us out. Anyway.
Okay. Are we doing DFS after game picks?
Oh yeah, I totally skipped you. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, we'll do it after. Okay.
All right, we'll do it a little bit after. We'll do game picks first.
I just got to do my little week 1 recap.
This says week 3, by the way, guys. It's blocked out by our sign. I apologize.
Love the little Sunday morning roast logo there. Okay, here we go.
So,
all right.
Here's another attempt. We all picked the Chiefs last week. Did not work out.
Did not.
So, not a game that we can catch up in the standings with Ace, but he picked the Chiefs as well. Surprise, surprise. I thought he'd go rogue here and maybe go with the upset in the Chargers, but the Chargers visit the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 7-point favorites for this game. Coming off that Sunday night loss to the Ravens, I'm going to go with them. Yeah, I can go with them here. I think they take care of it. Can't watch the whole game, unfortunately. But yeah, I think they pull this one out. I think it's just a home game. I think they're pissed. They'll play better, hopefully. Even though without Frank Clark on the defensive end, they'll right the ship.
I mean, these games are always close, right? Division rivalries. I mean, it's always going to be contention. I mean, honestly, the 7 I think is too much. Kansas City in terms of sports betting lines, notorious over the last few years for not covering because we love to play down to the level of our competition for some reason. Or they get a late touchdown or something. It's a 2-score game. They get a late touchdown because our defense isn't normally very good, and then that spread covers. That's 7 points. I mean, if I was betting, I'd be all over that 7. I think 7 is too much. I think this is probably like a 4 or 5 point game. We end up winning, but Justin Herbert. I mean, for anyone who didn't watch the Dallas game the other day, and I can't imagine there was very many people that didn't, Justin Herbert is going to be a problem. Like people talk about Aaron Rodgers, next year maybe coming to Denver. I don't know if I'd want to be in the same division as Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert for the rest of your career, dude. Because I mean, these two dudes are just studly. It's going to be a great matchup every time they face off. Justin Herbert has an absolute hose. He has weapons galore. I mean, you could make an argument. I mean, look at who Justin Herbert has. Justin Herbert's throwing the ball to Keenan Allen. He's got Austin Eckler in the backfield. He's got big Mike Williams playing the Michael Thomas role in that Joe Lombardi offense. So he's absolutely eating with 11 targets in both of his first 2 games. I mean, the Chargers are very good. They lose games the Charger way, baby. Absolutely just mockeries. Like there was no business to them to lose to Dallas the other day. Literally none. 2 touchdowns called back on penalties. They had 7 penalties on just their offensive line. Justin Herbert made 3 fantastic throws. All of them brought back. Justin Herbert went from having a 30-point fantasy day to like a 17-point fantasy day just because his teammates could not stop committing penalties. It was absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I got the Chiefs winning this game.
Yeah, it's the third touchdown called back this season for Justin Herbert. Third passing touchdown called back because of an offensive penalty. So not ideal for him. Not ideal for I just blanked on his name. Not what is their coach? Brandon Staley. I'm sorry. Totally blanked on name. I was like, I know it is right. I had it before I even started talking. Not ideal for them, but hopefully they can, maybe they'll right the ship. I hope they don't. They can right the ship in week 4. I want the Chiefs to
yeah, not this week. They'll figure it out later.
No bias on AJA Sports Show. We are a stand-up program that only gives you the business and gives you, proper picks.
Right.
All right, moving on. Here we go. We got Seattle.
Oh, here you go.
Minnesota.
There's one. Ace is good for 1 or 2, man. He's always good for 1 or 2.
No Dalvin Cook, so Alexander Madison will be attempting to break through what is the Seattle defensive.
And just we'll let Ace amend, right? Like until the game starts. Ace, in case you're watching, you have until kickoff time of the game to amend because it doesn't sound like Dalvin Cook's playing. Good Lord, our buddy over there, Ace, man. Bless his little heart. That dude is working his absolute keister off over there. Okay, that's the only reason he's not here. I don't want to hear any slander about the Ace and the deck missing because that man is putting in absolute WORK worky work. So, Ace. By the way, you to the end of once kickoff starts, you're locked in Minnesota here, buddy. This is where I get ahead. So just go ahead. This is where I got to catch up here.
Hey, I don't know why you're encouraging that. I'm trying to win the game picks record, so stop.
Do you know this line is only 2? This is only a 2-point spread here.
Seattle?
Yeah.
Seattle's
getting 2.
Bet the over, 100%.
Well, no. Wait, the point total or the over under? The over under is. Hold on. ESPN app. You don't have the over under? Are you flipping kidding me right now? 54.5. That's huge. That's a huge over under.
That is a big number. Wow. That's a really big number.
But the spread is -2 Seattle and the money's coming in 68, almost 70% to Seattle at that 2. And I would
Seattle to cover that, I guess, is the right.
Seattle to cover. Yeah, exactly. To cover the 2. So to win by more than 2. So win by at least a field goal. I think Seattle wins by at least a field goal here.
Loving the Tyler Lockett experiment, which isn't really an experiment. The guy's been absolute money, 100 catches, 1,000 receiving yards in 2 seasons, in back-to-back seasons coming into this year. Got him on fantasy. The guy's he's a target monster. Keep it up. The secondary is not very good. Think he could do it again. So,
yeah, in terms of the actual football game here, the offensive line for Minnesota is not very good. We saw Seattle just absolutely lay an egg that last second half against the Titans. I mean, they just decided that Derrick Henry just decided he wasn't going to have it anymore. Derrick Henry is apparently becoming like a very prominent voice in that Tennessee locker room. Not something that we hear normally for a running back, but he was chirping the other day.
You try telling him no.
Oh, I'm not. The dude, no. Yeah, the dude's built like a sack of bricks. He's like that freaking mountain from Game of Thrones. No shot. I'm telling that guy anything. And dude outruns people too. Anyway, we're not talking about Derrick Henry, but this Minnesota secondary stinks. This Seattle secondary ain't too great either. From a fantasy perspective, I'm getting a ton of exposure to this game. However, I can get it. KJ Osborne is going to be the consensus value play at 3,500, playing 71% of the snaps. He's only ran in his first 2 games 10 less routes and 11 less routes over the first 2 weeks than Stephon Diggs, then Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. So he's a great value play. Looking at Seattle, Metcalf and Lockett, they always look elite. I'll take Metcalf this week just because I think the ownership is going to be more on Lockett. If you look at our boys again, #established to run. It looks like you're going to save about half in ownership. They're only $100 difference between Lockett and Metcalf. But I think the ownership savings that you get there makes that $100 to go down from Lockett to Metcalf worth it. Rush stacks are expensive, man. Like these elite quarterbacks, like in DFS, you can just get contrarian by paying up and double stacking elite quarterbacks because it's so hard. Like Andrew heard me this morning talking about Patrick Mahomes stacks. If you're trying to get a double Patrick Mahomes stack, like if you try to run Pat with Ty and with Trav, and then you try to run it back with Mike Williams or Austin Eckler or even Keenan Allen, just one of them, that's literally almost 2/3 of your salary. So it's super contrarian build there. I know that's DFS talk, but yeah, I think the Seahawks win this game. I trust Russell Wilson more than I trust Kirk Cousins because holy snot, sometimes he's terrible. So.
Fun fact, you wouldn't know it considering the Vikings and how they play, and this is more of a detriment to how we track passer rating and stats sometimes than it actually is an applaud towards Kirk Cousins. But he is the since 2019, he has the most passing games or most games played with 100+ passer rating. So I don't know. Something's not making a lot of sense here because they haven't won more than 10 games, I think, since he's gotten there. So not really sure where the algorithm's making sense there on Kirk Cousins being the NFL leader in passer rating since 2019. Not leader, but just most 100+ passer ratings, because then he just dips down and has anyway, whatever. I tried to squeeze one in there. I'm trying to talk trash about Kirk Cousins. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. Moving on, next game. Ace will have an opportunity to fill in his pick for this game. I don't blame him for this one because when trying to figure this one out between last night and this morning, I didn't get Jay's until maybe 5 minutes before we hopped on. He was going back and forth about this, but he's going with the Bucks here. I'm going to go with the Rams. Tom Brady traveling back home. This is going to be his first game played in Los Angeles. I don't know if it's not really much of a surprise when you really think about it, considering he hasn't really there wasn't a team there for the majority of his career. And now that he moved to Tampa when two more teams were there, he didn't play them up until this season. So first game back in LA at SoFi Stadium. I think the Rams win here. I think it's a good game. I think it's going to be pretty much a barn burner. I think it's going to the Bucs defense looks pretty questionable. Offensively, though, no one's really shown any resistance to stopping them. Granted, they have played the Cowboys and Falcons. So this will be a nice test for them with Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, and a Sean McVay defense. I think the Rams win, though. Everyone's calling it a NFC title game preview. You can never really predict those things, but I wouldn't be shocked to see these two teams there. Jay, why do you think the Bucs pull it out here in LA?
Yeah, Tom Brady. That'll usually do it.
I'll figure.
Yep. That'll do it for me. I'm not one to bet against Tom Brady very much, man. I just don't. I don't do it. I don't like it. Man, he's so good, dude. It's really ridiculous. It doesn't matter what you do, right? It doesn't matter like what you try to take away. I mean, this Bucs team is absolutely loaded. So it really everyone's like they have Jalen Ramsey. Okay, Chris Godwin plays in the slot. Is he gonna follow Chris Godwin into the slot? Because say he takes away Mike Evans. Say he's taking away Mike Evans, and they don't have Antonio Brown today. Okay, they have Chris Godwin. They have Cameron Brate. They have Rob Gronkowski. They have Leonard Fournette. They still have Scotty Miller, who is a big play, explosive guy. I mean, their offensive line is unbelievable. Tristan Wirfs has not allowed a sack since week 2 of last year. I mean, the dude is going on almost more than a full calendar year of not allowing a sack. They're just absolutely loaded. And I think the Rams are too. And this is a toss-em game. In a pick-em game, I'll take Tom Brady over Matt Stafford. I don't love it particularly. Yeah. I don't think any of us are flag planting this game. I mean, this is one that really, could help, depending on what Asa does, boost up whoever gets it right. And then, obviously, put me back if I lose again.
Definitely hoping he chooses Tampa and that the Rams win. So if you're
go figure. And I hope he chooses the Rams and Tampa wins.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Surprise. Yeah. Toss-em game. Like you said, pick-up game though. I'll go with the home team at least for now. I think if they meet again, no matter what the location is, I think the Bucs will win. But we'll have to wait and see. Should be a fun. This is the late afternoon start, so this will be after the morning slate of games. So if the morning games don't go well for you, at least you have a fun quarterback matchup and offensive matchup to watch. Moving on to the next game, we have Aaron Rodgers going to San Francisco. Last time he was there,
this is scary.
Last time he was there, didn't go too well for the gangrene and the Wisconsin shed that is Aaron Rodgers. They got mollywopped 38-10 in a playoff game, and then the 49ers visited them last year at Lambeau and beat them as well. I don't have the scoreline for that game. Actually, Aaron Rodgers has been pretty successful up until the last recent seasons. He's 5-3 in his career in regular season games against the San Francisco 49ers. And it came out this past weekend that and I don't think it's much of a surprise to anybody, but just as confirmation to what everybody thought, is that the 49ers was his preferred trade destination partner over the offseason, and that he was trying to get a move out of there. Jay mentioned earlier that the Broncos were a team that were in on him and could possibly be in on him going into next year. But again, I think moving now you look at it though, and you're like, if you move to the San Francisco division, you're going against Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, Matt Stafford, or do you want Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes? Still might want to avoid Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes, I'll be honest with you, because those two are just pretty unreal. But yeah, we're all across the board here with Niners, but
Aaron's arrogant enough to where I could genuinely believe him saying, "Who gives a shit?" Like, just being honest. Like, right? Like, he's so confident in his talents, his abilities. He really don't care. I'm sure he thinks he's better than both of them. Herbert, Allen, Mahomes, all of them. So I don't. I'm saying for me personally, right? Because I'm not freaking Lamar. I'm not Aaron Rodgers. I'd be a little hesitant, but go figure. That's just me. The Niners are banged up, man. Their secondary's banged up. It sounds like Trey Sermon's going to get the bulk of the work. Dude, I was all over him week 1, and then I got Shanahan. My homeboy Zach, shout out Mr. Zachary Haynes. His dad used to use this fantastic word called Shanghaied, right? Whenever he felt like he got screwed. We used to play baseball together. And if Zach would get called for a pitch or something, or even me, because he was supportive as hell, if we got called for something he didn't like, he'd tell the ref he got Shanghaied, or the ump that he got Shanghaied. It's called Shanahan now. You're getting Shanahan. That's what happens nowadays. The dude will start a running back who's fifth on the depth chart, no problem. Don't give a damn about your fantasy team. It's just disrespectful. It's not nice, and I don't like it. You need to pick it up. But no, seriously, this is going to be a game that's won in the trenches. San Francisco is honestly, when you look at the trench game, they do a fantastic job on the offensive line and on the defensive line. Trent Williams is an absolute man amongst boys. He's the best left tackle in football. It's not even close. So yeah, I think this is another one, man. Like these last two, normally I like to, give a little, you know what I'm saying? And really get behind when I can't get behind these two, bro. I have no freaking idea. Between the Rams and the Bucks and the Packers and the Niners, I have no clue, dude. I wanted to go with the Packers because Aaron Rodgers is just so unbelievable. I think that defense is about as Swiss cheese though as Wisconsin. So I think there's a chance that Shanahan comes out and runs the ball 28, 30 times. Who are they running it with? I have no idea. Don't ask. It's probably, like I said, it's probably Sermon, who played one snap last week. He played one snap, one snap, carried the ball, concussed, out. See ya. So good luck picking fantasy lineups there. But yeah, I think the Niners probably win. It's going to be really close. The spread's really close. They got the Niners favored by 3. That's pretty much, for people who don't bet the lines, they give 3 points to the home team. So it's pretty much a pick 'em. So yeah, I'll go with the Niners here. No conviction whatsoever, as you can clearly
I feel like San Francisco's kind of turned into almost like the Patriots a couple of years ago, where you just don't want to, you don't really know who to play from their team and who's going to get the snaps. So you just end up not playing anybody. Funny enough that Deebo Samuel is leading the NFL in receiving right now, but who knows if that's going to even happen.
Exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. Because Deebo Samuel will go and he'll have 184 yards and a touchdown in week 1. And then next week, Raheem Mostert's hurt, but Raheem will go for 3 touchdowns and 120. He's always hurt. Oh, he's always hurt. These Niners running backs are always hurt. You want to talk about consistency every year? Every year, just if you want to draft a Niners running back, like in season long, you better draft every Niners running back. You better get 1 through 3. Like, you want to talk about a handcuff? You need handcuffs when you're drafting a Niners running back in season long fantasy. You better get the first, the second, and the third guy. You take 20% of your roster is going to end up being Niners running backs if that's the case. So yeah, I'll go with the Niners. Don't feel great about it.
By the way, I did want to mention, you said that their defense is Swiss cheese, and in part basically because I've mentioned him on the show. Kevin King is still on that defense. But I would like to shout out Minneapolis and the proud Juicy Lucy. That is a cheddar cheese only option. So they are cheddar, but they are filled with holes. Don't know where I was going with that one, but just Kevin King sucks. I'm sorry, Kevin King, and to your family. Anyway, we got the Eagles at the Cowboys for our Monday nighter. Eagles looked good week 1, struggled a little bit against San Francisco. Cowboys again looked good against against Tampa in week 1 as well, and then pulled out a last-second win against the Chargers. All across the board here, going Cowboys though. I told the guy at the barbershop the other day that I thought the Cowboys would win 13 games this year, and he laughed at me. I don't know how I feel about that. Then I told him I had a sports show, and I'm not going to get into it, but I didn't like what he said.
I tell him to kiss my keister.
Yeah, he's a Cowboys fan. I'm telling you, getting a 13 wins, and he's questioning me. What kind of fan are you anyway? So I got the Cowboys winning. At home, Jerry World. Don't think Eagles are as good as the Cowboys. We're just gonna chalk it up to that. Not sure if Michael Gallup was gonna be back. Cedric Wilson filled in for him pretty nicely last week though. I think he's missing 3 weeks, right? They placed him on
Yeah,
IR
Gallup won't be back. Yep, he'll be gone for a few weeks. Yep.
It's been the CeeDee Lamb show anyway. I mean, getting the bulk of the targets. CeeDee Lamb has looked phenomenal getting the ball out of the slot. You even saw him take a couple of touches out of the backfield. That was a surprise, just getting a couple rushes in shotgun. So Cowboys offense is going to hit its stride here. So I'll take the Cowboys here over the Eagles.
Hey, the ace in the hole,
What
baby!
up, you handsome man? There he is. Hello.
Yeah. No problem, buddy. Hey, can you just settle this on air? The Rams and the Bucks. Who you got? Okay, let you do your little type. Give us a little spiel too. Give yourself you're a typing aficionado. Give us a little spiel why you think. We'll read it off right here so that way everyone knows. If I told you that this game is only a 51.5 point total, I'm taking the over, right? These defenses suck. Like these defenses absolutely stink.
That's a lower total than the Seahawks Minnesota game you gave me.
Yeah. I would take the over here. Ridiculous. This has a chance to be an absolute barn burner. I mean, Jalen Hurts has looked pretty darn good. Didn't look great in week 2 against San Francisco, but San Francisco, like I said, dominates the trenches, and they're smart over there. They're a good football team. So I imagine that absolutely lit up the Falcons week 1. How much better is this Cowboys defense than the Falcons? I mean, I think people are going to assume that this Cowboys defense is a little bit better than they are because they held, the Chargers to 14 points last week, right? I think it was 14. It was 17-14. Let me tell you something. They're not. Both of those teams just decided that they were going to rely on the run game predominantly. And we saw that kind of play out in the game totals there. I mean, Dak was throwing in Mike McCarthy's offense in the 5 games prior to last week that Dak Prescott started. The minimum passing attempts he had was 41 minimum. And that's with like 250 bombs in there. And he only threw the ball like 33 times last week. So, I think the Cowboys win. I think they have more offensive firepower. I think this is, like I said, I think this has the opportunity to be a huge shootout. The Philly defense is not good. The Cowboys defense is worse. So, I don't know if it's worse, but it's pretty dang close. You make an argument.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts has been the apple of everyone's eye in DFS the first couple of weeks. What's his price, by the way, for this going into this week?
He's not on the main slate. So
that's right. He's on Monday. Right. Okay, so we can't get that, but he was under 7K for both first weeks, and performed pretty well for people who played him in their lineups. I was not one of them, but still.
I was.
You were, yeah, you did. Yeah.
Monday was week 1 was a lot better than week 2.
Mm.
You want to talk about week 2? Is that what we got next, or we have another prediction I messed up on? Or?
Oh no, you're good. We're not gonna go back to your mess ups, buddy. We're gonna just go on to our Survivor picks. I wish I had some music for this. We're gonna have to get some music,
like some tiki music.
Yeah, we're gonna get some. We'll get some tiki music. Let's go ahead and throw this on the screen here. So I'll go first. I'm taking the Seahawks. Again, Jay mentioned that it's a 2-point line. Seahawks are favored against the Minnesota Vikings on the road. Never feel great about the Seahawks going on the road. Obviously they didn't play well at home against the Titans this past weekend. But before I finish my little spiel, let's go to what Ace says. Okay, he said, okay, first time Tom is playing in LA. Bucks are on a great win streak since last season, but they have to lose somewhere. This is where I think it happens. Rams by a field goal. Crisp.
He's the best in the biz, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He's
Similar
the best
to
in the
what
biz.
I was going to. I love the pick because it's a good pick with great rationale. Wish you were going different because if the Rams did win, then I'd catch a game. But it's okay. Week 3, we're staying patient.
Oh yeah, it's my opportunity to get one.
That's okay. There's Johnny's chance to get one though. We
go
will make
Tommy.
Sure
go Tom. TB12, Tommy.
what is this like sacrilege happening on our show right now that this guy just lost to that Tom guy a couple months ago?
Absolutely losing his marbles right now. Absolutely losing his marbles.
Yeah, so Survivor pick. As you can see at the little bottom part of the screen, let me show you real fast. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know what's like, sad music. I can't really do it, but week 1 and week 2, the boys went down. A stayed alive, and it's going to happen again with the Seahawks taking down the Vikings. And staying alive for week 4, and we'll pick a new team then.
Yeah, Andrew's a little saucy. Likes to pick the close lines. I'm not doing that. I'll take the Cardinals favored by over a touchdown against the Jags. Not much to stay there. I think the Cardinals are a lot better than the Jags. And I was really pissed off about losing last week, man. And then week 1, like both of those tombstones down there, you can kind of chalk up to your boy here because I was all over Minnesota. I would have had week 1. Andrew went Minnesota. I mean, Asa went Minnesota. That was my number 1. Andrew went Denver. That was my number 2. And then now week 3, I'm not taking a chance. I'm going to take the 7-point. Well, to be fair, the Steelers were 7-point favorites to the dang Raiders. Go there, drop an egg. That's the last time I root for new in-shape Ben Roethlisberger. Unbelievable. Now he's hurt. Absolute corpse out there.
Ace said, "Go Vikes." No, you're not a Justin Jefferson fan. You can't root for the Vikings.
True.
You're not allowed to do that.
And then
the play.
So Ace has the Broncos in a matchup against the Jets. Smart lad. Same thing to me.
Looks
he
like
took an even bigger one.
Looks to me like the boys are playing a little safe here, trying to stay alive. Is that what happened?
Well, I think that's what you're supposed to do in Survivor Mix, to stay alive, isn't it?
Just letting you know. I mean, I'm just letting you know I'm taking risks here. Took a risk on the Cardinals last week and a missed field goal by those same Vikings that Ace is cheering for in the comments. Missed it. Got it. That's what is a survivor if not winning at the death? What is a survivor?
True definition through and through of a Survivor pick right there. They literally.
That's the intuition I'm putting into this. Seahawks get the win.
Good for you. I'll take the 7-point favorites.
John, all right. Are you ready to ready for some DFS stuff real fast?
All right. So listen,
let's
guys.
bring this up on screen. Let's get rid of that, and let's get rid of that. And
all right, we're not going to sugarcoat it, right? Last week was a rough go. We lost about 95% of the funds we put in last week. Really though, going back and reviewing it, especially in cash, it wasn't really a process error or anything, right? It was a 2v2 that I chose wrong on. I was very high on the Chargers in the Dallas game, as many people were. I get very nervous stacking games in cash unless the correlation makes sense, right? Like I'm not going to force stacks, especially in cash. There's just no need. The upside that you get from a stack is not necessary in cash. You're looking for those stack opportunities because the chances of getting one thing right are a lot better than the chances of you getting 3, 4, or 5 things right? So in my stack, in my cash lineup last week, I had Dak and I had CeeDee Lamb and I had Amari Cooper, and I ran that back with Eckler. There was ways to get there, right? And the 2v2 that I had to choose from was Cooper Kupp and Jamar Chase. And the second that I say Cooper Kupp, I lost. It doesn't matter what the hell I say on the other side. When Cooper Kupp goes for almost 50 DraftKings points, there's very little you're going to be able to do. I mean, Amari Cooper would have had to went absolutely nuclear. And Amari Cooper instead had one of his Amari Cooper pooper games and was absolutely terrible. So, not good. The tournament stuff didn't go great in hindsight. I think I should have done a little bit of a better job in terms of late swapping. Didn't get the Derrick Henry, which was a killer. Again, if you didn't have Cooper Kupp and Derrick Henry last week, there's very little chance that you had of getting up to the top of any tournaments. So the thing for tournaments too, I'd rather lose everything than kind of win stuff. And I know that sounds a little counterintuitive, but if I'm kind of winning stuff and finishing just above cash lines and stuff, that means I'm not getting different enough. I'm not getting variant enough. Because in order to get into those to win a tournament, you need to be in the top 1%, not 1%. You need to be in the top. You need to be in the top 1%. And you're not doing that if your ownership is keeping you right about whatever the cash money line is to win some type of money back. So I didn't mind, not cashing in my tournaments. I actually cashed in a few of them. That's the only thing I did cash in. I only won a few head-to-heads, and that was because some people had the same lineup as me. But my cash lineup, once we went off of Cooper Kupp and Jamar Chase, it was going to be real hard. And unfortunately, Amari Cooper and who was the other one? Who was the cheap guy that we played last week? I forgot who the cheap guy was, but it was Amari Cooper and someone else. And just, obviously once Cooper Kupp went for almost 50, it was over. This week is real interesting. Pricing is real soft. And like I said earlier, running back is absolutely atrocious. Now, no Dalvin Cook. I'm going to have to go do some research on Madison. He's a fine player. He's come in before and he's taken the lead role from Dalvin and looked pretty solid. But he's not a bargain. He's $6K. Like we were talking about a little earlier. So at $6K, I mean, you're looking in that price range of like a DeAndre Swift, who's in an absolutely phenomenal game environment. He's questionable coming in, but all indications are that he's going to play. And then, guys like Saquon, who are only, a few $100s more, I'm just willing to find that few $100s more and go get Saquon. Now, Madison is in a great spot in terms of, GPP score, game score from established to run. This is a high total game, So if he's going to come in and get something similar to, because right now their running backs are only Amir Abdullah and Alexander Madison. So if he's going to come in, he's going to get 20 something touches at $6K. I like it. I don't know if I love it. This is going to be a conversation that me and Joe have right now in cash. Cause what do you do? Right now, my 3 cash running backs are looking like Clyde, Saquon, and Eckler. I like Eckler, I think a little bit more than our guys over at Established to Run. I think the public in general in cash does. So maybe that's a spot where I can come off and try to get up to, maybe another, high price wide receiver. But, you also are looking in this 6K range at receiver where you don't really need to go up a whole lot. Chris Godwin is 6,100 without Antonio Brown in the lineup. And he's the one who's going to be least likely to see a Jalen Ramsey coverage. Cooper Kupp's at 6,800. Still too cheap. Didn't price him up enough, in my opinion, especially going up against Tampa Bay. I mean, I have a feeling both of these quarterbacks, Tom Brady, we know, is going to throw over 40 times. And Matthew Stafford could very well do the same thing. Running into that Tampa Bay defense at front seven is not recommended. And Darnell Henderson is a game time decision looking very questionable right now. So cash is going to be a real fickle bitch right now, right? We're about to be doing some research, some straining, going back and forth. I'll touch on tournaments just real quick. Justin Fields is locked and loaded for me in tournaments at 5,200. Right? Yeah, 5,200. He allows you to get in those higher tier wide receivers and running backs. So I think Justin Fields, the rushing ability, it's going to make it really hard for him to fail. And God, if he rips off like a 40-yard touchdown at 5,200 and you don't have him, the quarterbacks on the slate this week are unbelievable. Like Kyler Murray's 8,300 looks great. Patrick Mahomes 8,200 looks great. Russell Wilson 76, great. Josh Allen is in a bunch of my stuff, 7K, looks great. Even like guys like Cousins is 6,200 in a great game environment. Now with no Dalvin, I'll probably be making a few more tournament lineups with Cousins here. I have 5 more to make. So DFS this week is going to be very interesting because you can get whoever you want. The 2 flag plants that I'll lay on you right now, guys. Here we go. Johnny's flag plants for tournaments. I love Jonathan Taylor. I think he's in a great environment against Tennessee. Don't love that his O-line is banged up. But when you look at the usage, he's getting all the touches in the red zone. Hobbled Carson Wentz. I could see them feeding the ball to him even more. Marlon Mack and Nyheim Hines are always people that can come in and vulture some stuff from him. But, it's been modest to say the least. He's still getting 15 carries a week. He had 3 targets last week, 6 in week 1. So I think Jonathan Taylor is a great spot. It's actually my second guy is a run back on him, a mini stack that I love. And it's with A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown has not had a great start to the season. We've seen him have absolutely nuclear games, and it's coming, right? If you just look at last year, you've seen it a few times where Jonathan Taylor and A.J. Brown break the slate. Now I get to run them together under 10% ownership for both of them. Sign me up. I have 20 tournament lineups, and a Jonathan Taylor and A.J. Brown run back is in about, I'd say, 8 of them, maybe 9, possibly 10. I mean, I have him that much. The other sneaky bring back that I like is a game that that has a real opportunity to shoot out due to Baltimore missing so many players and Detroit being absolutely poo-poo is the Detroit and Baltimore game. Love some DeAndre Swift, Marquise Brown run backs. Marquise Brown has been the guy to benefit from Lamar Jackson's play this year so far. It hasn't been Mark Andrews. And if you want to get a little more contrarian, you can go off of Marquise Brown and get Mark Andrews. The ownership's not on Brown enough for me to get there. I'll have Andrews sprinkled in like one lineup with Lamar. You can also consider running Lamar skinny stacked or empty by himself with just a single. Like I have no problem running Lamar Jackson with just Swift or just Hawkinson, because I mean, if Lamar scored, it's very possible that this game goes to be like a 35-24 game. And Lamar Jackson scores 2 rushing touchdowns, and you don't need any of those ancillary pieces to really go off for you. So good luck today, everyone, for all my DK folk out there. We're hoping to hit one here eventually, and we'll keep bringing you the pain along as my pain keeps going here with the DFS focus. So I'll let you know on Monday if I played Madison. I don't know if I can do it.
We will know the outcome of all the fallout rather of Jay's DFS stuff. Hopefully, it is a positive sound mind and body. Hopefully, he makes some money. Yep.
If there's one thing we're going to be about my DFS venture, we're going to be honest, okay? I'll come in here. If I lose, I'm going to let you know. Hey, bro, we stuck up the joint today. Okay, week 1 was pretty good. Didn't hit the tournaments, but I just started playing tournaments. For anyone who's new here, you guys are coming along this fantasy venture with me, baby. I was a sole cash player and multiplier player here just the last 2 years. Now we're making the switch over to tournaments. So in like 35 years, when I finally win the Millie Maker, we'll look back at this and all laugh. So
I just want to throw this on there real fast. We're going to call that growing pains. But anyway, guys, Jay uses Established to run a lot. He uses Fantasy Pros. If you guys want to use Fantasy Pros for your daily fantasy research, there is a link at the bottom of our description in this video. Also, make sure to like and subscribe if you guys did like what you see today. That's going to do it for us on the Sunday Morning Roast. Jay's going to go do some research. I'm going to get some more coffee. And we're going to get ready for some football. So hopefully everybody has a good, fun, successful Sunday. If you're playing fantasy sports, make sure to have a good time.
With some money, baby.
Play responsibly, win some money. But until next time, we will see you guys later. We are the AJA Sports Show. Peace out.